Welcome to Introduction to Oceanography. My name is Jim Noyes, and I'll be teaching this course. I'm going to begin this presentation with information about myself and how to reach me, what the class will cover, grading, basic policies, that kind of thing. Then on slide 9, I'll show you what my Canvas shell is like and how to navigate around it. I mentioned this so you can skip ahead if you wish to. Beginning on slide 12, I will describe what we will do each week, the kinds of tasks that you will do, and in what order. I go by my middle name, James or Jim. Notice that my email address is based upon my first name, Thomas. So it is tnoyes@elcamino.edu. In short, my email begins with a T, not a J. I strongly recommend that you use your ECC email to contact me via email to make sure that the college's spam blockers do not prevent me from getting your message. This semester I'll be teaching the course fully online using the Canvas course management system. The URL for Canvas is on the screen now, and I also have a link to it on my faculty website, whose URL is also listed on the screen. Your username and password for Canvas are the same as your MyECC username and password. I recommend that you use the Canvas inbox and conversations feature to communicate with me. I have my Canvas account set up so that it sends your message to me in my email inbox as well as my Canvas one, so I will get it ASAP. In addition, messages sent only to my email might get lost among my other emails. This is much less likely to happen if I have your message in both places. You can also reach me via my office phone. I will get the message sent to my email as an audio file. I will not use my personal phone to call you back, but will respond in writing or with my own audio file in Canvas. One of the first things students want to know is what books and materials they need to buy for this class. For this class, you do not need to buy anything. I'll say that again. You do not need to buy anything. All the materials will be electronic and freely available online. You do need regular access to a computer and a reliable internet connection. You will not need to be using your internet all the time. I have many materials that you can download so that you can work on tasks offline and upload your work later when you do have access to the internet. I will not be holding any official class meetings, so you do not have to be online at specific times during the week. I hope that this will allow you to fit the class in around your schedule. This does not mean that I don't want to see you. I will be interacting with you in the weekly discussions of the course material. I'll also be sending you personal feedback and asking you specific questions about your written work, especially if you appear to be struggling with an assignment. Please do reach out to me if you have questions about how the course is run and about the course material. I have a lot of students, and it's possible for me to overlook someone unintentionally, so please help me help you by reaching out. Also, do not forget that your fellow students are excellent resources too. As in a traditional class, reach out to other students in the class, perhaps someone whose work you admire in the discussions. Form study groups and teams to work on the assignments together. Remember, we're all in this together. In this course, we will survey a wide variety of phenomena and ideas from the discipline of oceanography. Our goals are both to learn about the ocean and how oceanographers study it. In particular, we want to address the questions, why is the ocean important? And how does the ocean affect our lives? While attempting to answer these questions, we will find that what happens in the ocean often depends upon what is going on at its boundaries, in the atmosphere and the earth, the living things inside the ocean, and far-off objects like the sun and moon. The ocean can have a profound effect on all of these as well. At the end of the course, students will have a better understanding of natural processes like what the living things in the ocean do for us, and be better armed to engage in today's scientific debates like global warming and climate change. Specifically, students should be able to describe and explain complex ocean systems to their family and friends, and be able to back up their claims with evidence, examples, and pictures. I need to warn you about something. Oceanography is a lecture and lab course, so you are really taking two classes, a lecture class and a lab class. Expect to spend 2 classes worth of time on this class. In the traditional version of this class, we would meet for 6 hours and 20 minutes per week. Since this is a 4-unit lecture and lab class, El Camino College guidelines suggest that you can be expected to spend at least 6 hours per week on this class outside of class meetings, in addition to the 6 hours and 20 minutes of class time each week. This means the time commitment for this course is more than 12 hours per week in an ordinary semester. And since this is the winter semester and we cover 16 weeks of material in 4 weeks, the time commitment is really closer to 4 times 12, or about 48 hours per week. Let me say that again. Taking this class during the winter session may require more than 40 hours of work per week. Some students complain to me that my oceanography class has a lot more week. It takes a lot more time of their time than other courses. It should. It's 2 classes. And during the winter, you are taking them 4 times faster than during an ordinary semester. My primary educational philosophy is that our goal should be learning. Mistakes and misunderstandings are okay. Mistakes and misunderstandings are normal. They're part of learning. This leads me to the following idea, which I hope my course embodies. Keep trying until you get it. For example, you can take all of the quizzes again and again to improve your score. The quizzes have due dates, but the due dates are recommendations, guides so that you don't fall behind. Here's another example of keep trying until you get it. After I've evaluated your written work, you will have the opportunity to promptly revise and resubmit it again. Moreover, you can turn in your written assignments late, and I do not start applying late penalties until 1 week after the original due date. So if a written assignment is a few days late, it's no big deal. Sometimes students make the mistake of treating 1 week late as the real deadline. This is a mistake because it can lead to receiving a lower score if you wish to revise and resubmit your work. Please see the syllabus for details. I don't want to get into it right now. In addition, you will be allowed to turn in 2 written assignments late and resubmit them with no late penalty. I call this the life happens waiver. I recognize that sometimes things happen. Your car breaks down, your children get sick, you need to help your parents or friends. There are important things on your life that get in the way of oceanography class that you need to take care of. Your grade will be based upon 3 major kinds of assignments: discussions, quizzes, and written homework. There are no big exams in this class. I've essentially taken my in-class exams and separated them into multiple choice questions and long answer questions. The quizzes contain the multiple choice questions, and the written assignments contain the long answer questions. Instead of holding an exam each month, you'll be working on smaller pieces of material each week. Discussions give you important feedback about your understanding of the readings and are directly related to the quiz questions and the tasks on the written assignments. This bears repeating. The discussions are directly related to the quiz questions and the tasks on the written assignments. In my experience, students often neglect the discussions, perhaps because they're viewing them as an inefficient use of time. This is a mistake. Not only are they worth points, but they can save you a lot of time. If you're not sure about an answer to a quiz question that's giving you trouble, check the discussions for similar questions. If you're not sure about how to carry out a task on a written assignment, check the discussions for a similar question. The reading assignments are in tasks I call units. The units, the reading assignments, are all online, and I've posted them both in Canvas and on my faculty website. So if you have problems with your Canvas account, you can keep up with the readings until the problems are resolved. On the left side of the slide, you can see the units for week 1. There are 3 of them that I want you to read. They are all topic 1A, which is my code number for the Introduction to Oceanography topic, which covers basic concepts and vocabulary that we'll be using all semester. Think of each topic as a chapter in a textbook. I will typically split chapters into 2 or 3 separate reading assignments. You need to read units 1A-1, 1A-2, and 1A-3 during week 1. Try to complete at least 1 unit a day early in the week. For the purposes of this class, weeks start on Monday and end on Sundays. To start a reading assignment, click where it says unit and then click on the Take the Quiz button. I suspect you might be wondering why there is a Take the Quiz button that you will need to press to read a reading assignment. Each unit has questions in addition to things to read. In the unit, I have you read a few paragraphs, and then you answer a few questions about what you have just read. These questions direct your attention to the most important parts of what you just read, the things that I want you to know and that you will need to know for the discussions, quizzes, and written homework assignments. Hopefully, you'll find it fairly straightforward to find the answers in the text above the questions. For example, on the slide, I've circled the parts of the reading assignment that answer the question. Do not worry about missing a few questions. Not only can you redo the unit with no penalties, but I will add 10% to your score on all units, up to a maximum of 10%, at the end of the semester. So if you get 90% of the points for a unit, or close to it, it's probably not worth your time to redo it. I'd rather give you the points and have you focus on other tasks in which you practice and apply what you've learned. You can download the units and read and work on them offline. On my faculty website, click on the handouts link. Then you can right-click on the links for the units and download the units as PDF files. This will allow you to read the units when you do not have an internet connection. The files include the questions, so you can write down your answers and quickly enter them when you have an internet connection. Now I'm going to describe how to navigate in Canvas. First, you have to log into Canvas. The URL for Canvas is on the screen now, and I also have a link to it on my faculty website. Your username and password for Canvas are the same as your MyECC username and password. After you log in, you will see your dashboard page. The tile for Oceanography 10 should be present. Sometimes there are a lot of messages, so go down to the bottom of the page if you cannot see tiles. Just click on the tile for Oceanography 10 to enter your class. If you ever find yourself lost, you can always start over by clicking on the dashboard box on the left. Also notice your inbox over on the left. If you click on the inbox, you'll be taken to a page where you can send me messages and receive messages from me. Messages sent by the inbox are the best way to reach me. The first thing you should do after you log into Canvas is to complete several introductory activities. You will set up your notification settings so that you get messages and feedback from me as soon as possible, introduce yourself to me in the class, and complete several activities that I hope will familiarize you with the key things you need to know about class policies outlined in the syllabus. I actually cover most of these policies in this introductory presentation. Once you've completed the introductory tasks, you can click on the little triangle next to Getting Started. This will collapse the Getting Started module so that you do not need to skip over a lot of tasks to find out what you still need to do in Canvas. You can click on the triangle again to open it. Below the Getting Started module is the Help and Handouts module. There's nothing in the Help and Handouts module you need to do. I keep Help and Handouts up at the top of the home page so that you can find information quickly if you need it. For example, Help and Handouts contains links to my faculty webpage where you can download the units and other files. Click on the little triangle next to Help and Handouts to collapse the module. And let's finally look at what activities you will do in a typical week in this class. There is a module for each week. During each week, try to complete all the tasks in that week's module. The first item in each module is what to do each week. This is just a reminder. You can click on the link for it and read an overview of the different tasks each week. It is similar to what I am discussing on this slide. Weeks begin on Monday and end on Sunday, except for the last week, which will end on a weekday. Begin each week by participating in the weekly discussions because discussions only last for 1 week and you cannot get points for participating if you post late. Check back in and read and respond to other students every day or every other day. Participating in the discussions is worth points and will determine your attendance. There's another video in which I discuss how to get points for participating in discussions, so I will not say more on that topic now. I do want to emphasize the importance of the discussions. We will be discussing the quiz questions and the information you will need to complete the written homework, so do not neglect the discussions. They can save you a lot of time on other tasks. After making your first discussion post on Monday or Tuesday, take a look at the written homework assignment so that you know what kind of information to look out for in the week to come, and then start working on the units. Recall that the units are the reading assignments. Try to complete at least 2 units per day. Hopefully this means that you will be done with the units by Thursday. On Thursday or Friday, check in on the discussions and make a second post if you have not done so earlier in the week. More frequent checking and posting never hurts. Based upon what you have learned from the units and discussions, try to take the quiz or quizzes for each week's topics. Do not worry if you do not score as high as you would like. You can take the quizzes again You can take them as many times as you would like, even after the due date, although some of the questions will change each time you take a quiz. Review the quiz, identify what you missed, then seek out the answers in the units, the reading assignments, and in the discussion. Consider posting a question in the discussions about the ones you missed. You'll get help, and you'll get credit for participating in the discussion. If you learn something from taking the quiz, tell other students about it in the discussion. Warn them about tricky questions and concepts that you have figured out. You will get credit for participating in the discussion. On Friday or Saturday, start working on the written homework assignments. Ask your instructor questions via the Canvas messages, or better yet, post your questions in the discussion forum so your instructor and other students can respond. If you discuss your questions and concerns with the written homework in the discussion forum, then you will get points for participating in the discussion. Read and make your final posts in the weekly discussion forums on Saturday or Sunday, and turn in your written homeworks on Sunday if you can. Do not worry about getting the written homework in a few days late. A late penalty will not be applied until the work is over 1 week late. But try to get it in as soon as possible because a new week of work starts on Monday. You may have noticed that I left out the labs. I will discuss the labs in more detail on the next slide. In a traditional class, we would meet for 3 hours a week to work on labs. Some labs involve using equipment like scales, rulers, beakers, microscopes, hot plates, and so on to conduct experiments and make observations involving liquids, rock samples, plankton specimens, and more. Some labs involve studying data collected by oceanographers and presented in maps, graphs, and tables. I've taken pictures and videos of the lab experiments and samples and used them to create online labs. You will answer pretty much the same questions that you would in a traditional version of the class using the same observations. One major difference is that you will not manipulate the equipment yourself. The other major differences are that you will not have a lab partner or a group to work with, and I will not be there to guide you. I think the labs are much more difficult to do on your own. Remember the old saying, 2 heads are better than 1? Please do get together online with other students to work on the labs. And please post your questions about the labs you are working on in the weekly discussions. You can get participation credit for such posts. And other students and myself can offer you help and guidance. You can also send messages via the Canvas messaging system with your questions about the lab. I recommend getting started on the lab assignments after you finish the units each week, because the reading assignments can be quite beneficial for doing the labs. Notice that there is a lab quiz in addition to a lab assignment. It asks you questions related to what you learned in the lab. Like the units and other quizzes, you can do the lab assignments and lab quizzes as many times as you would like. And like the units, I will add 10% to your lab score at the end of the semester. So if you miss a few questions on the lab assignment, do not worry about it. It's not worth redoing the entire lab assignment. One special kind of lab assignment is an alternate site activity, which I sometimes abbreviate as ASA. In a traditional class, we go to the coast and I lead you on a walk. We look at various things, sand and rocks, wave conditions, evidence of the tides, structures humans build, features of the coastline, and more. I talk about why the things are the way they are, what is happening, and why. For these labs, I have pictures and videos from the visits to the coast, and there's audio of my presentations. The labs are long. As I noted before, it might take you 3 hours to complete a lab in class. As long as you have a stable internet connection, Canvas will remember where you left off. As with units, I have files containing the pictures and audio that you can download so you can work offline and quickly enter your answers later on when you do have an internet connection. In general, you are welcome to work with other students in this class. However, students should not give their login information to other students so that they can take quizzes for them. I know that this happens because multiple times a semester, students turn in written work in another student's account. Never give your assignment or account information to another student. You are putting your grade in their hands. Students should not be turning in identical or even very similar assignments, even if they work together. Always put things in your own words. Plagiarism is presenting someone else's work as your own. Altering a few words here and there does not make the work your own, nor does eliminating, adding, or switching the order of a few sentences or clauses. It is still copying. Work which contains plagiarism will receive a 0, the whole assignment, even if only one part is plagiarized. Make sure that you present information in your own words. You may use quotes to indicate where you have used someone else's material, but do not let your answer become a string of quotes without any of your own analysis. It does not matter if you copied from a reading assignment, textbook, the discussion forums, a website, a fellow student, etc. In other words, the source that you copied from is irrelevant. Copying without attribution is stealing someone else's work and claiming it as your own. It is lying about your own efforts and understanding. In my experience, a big danger or problem in an online class is students copying from websites and other sources of information. Always, always, always take notes. Paraphrase what you read, put it in your own words, and just the most important points or ideas, the ones that are relevant to your research. At the very least, put quotes around the things that you copy so that later on you know that you did not write it, and should include quotes if you decide to use it. If you include something that you copied in your written homework, it is plagiarism, even if you've forgotten that you copied it. Some students tell me that they plagiarized by accident, and that therefore it is not as bad. I think that this is like taking something from your neighbor's house, say a vase, and then your neighbor notices the vase on your shelf when they come over to your home. Telling your neighbor, oops, I had forgotten that I stole the vase and I should not let you see it, does not make you less of a thief. Another problem with online classes is that students try to answer questions by conducting internet searches, by Googling the answer, so to speak, instead of using the materials I've provided, instead of reading and searching through the units. This is a problem for several reasons. First and foremost, the internet is not necessarily a good source of information. You need to look at the source, see if it's credible, to see if it is trustworthy. Lord knows that the election of 2016 should have taught everyone to critically think about what they're looking at on the internet, and especially social media. In addition, what you find might not be written in language that is helpful. The language that the author uses might be too complex. Often the information is too brief. It doesn't contain enough details. So please, please, please use the information in the units and the discussions to try to answer the quiz questions and written homework assignments. In principle, everything you need is there. If you're having problems locating it, ask me for help. I can provide guidance. I can point you in the right direction.